I'm Niklas. Yesterday I found a new cool thing from the internets and I decided to create a video about it. So, I'll start by sharing my screen right away. So it is this peer-to-peer JavaScript library which can or simplifies data and video and audio calls in browsers. And yeah, I got quite excited because I think it could be used in, for example, games. And that's something I'm interested in. Anyways, it looks quite simple based on the examples on the page. And yeah, I think I should just try it out. So let's create a simple HTML page where we can mock something up. So let's create that. And from the documentation, add the script link. And yeah, let's create a simple page which shows your peer ID. So you can send it to your friend, and maybe a simple text box which will be synced between the peers. And after that, if everything works, I'll try to use this library for a game. Okay, I have to check from the documentation how this works. But I think I'll create maybe a six digits long ID, so it's simple to share. That should do a random 6 number, which cannot start with 0. Actually, let's set it to the HTML so the user can see his ID or her ID. I usually like to write things from the documentation or from the forums instead of copy pasting, because it usually I usually remember it better that way. This is actually quite cool because you can send pretty much any kind of data. It's not just strings and stuff like that. So I think I will send an object. Yeah, actually, if we are getting data, we should set it on the input. Okay, so basically when you are writing in the input, it sends this kind of object into the connection, and the connection is listening for data, and if the type is sync, it's setting the data value to the input. Great, let's try it out. Oh yeah, we probably need to host this on our machine. It usually doesn't work as expected if you open HTML files directly from your disk. So yeah. And now we have a server. Quite easy nowadays. Okay, pretty much looks like I expected. Perfect design and so on. So I guess this is the connection or the peer you want to connect to, and this is the synced. Okay, I'll fire up a new browser, so I have two browsers. Yeah, well, I do have two browsers at that point, but two peers. Okay, so let's see. I'll connect the right one to the left one. Maybe should have added some kind of message, but let's try. And it actually works. Well, that is cool. That is cool. Well, yeah, we are done. I'm actually surprised. I was pretty sure there will be some kind of error or something. So I think the next thing will be the game, because yeah, proof of concept, it works, nice, and yeah. So let's code up a game, a simple one, maybe Pong, because it's so simple and legendary, and it's probably going to work quite nicely with this. Okay, it's always a good idea to look up from search engines if there's anything that you can work on instead of starting from the scratch. Well, I guess the game is done if this works. And well, yeah, it does. Can you score? Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. So HTML, there is just canvas, no CSS, and some JavaScript. Well, this seems like a perfect solution for us. Let's see if there's any licensing. Nothing in the comments. Can I put on my website? There's the license. Okay, this sounds like MIT license, so it should be okay to use this. especially because this is just for fun and nothing commercial or anything like that. But MIT would support that scenario too. So actually here's the author's name too, Gabriel. Cool. Well, yeah, let's go with this. Obviously, we need to implement the peer-to-peer stuff on this and also change the computer or AI to actual player. I would imagine this takes a little bit longer, so I'll probably just skip to the part where it's done. I'm not sure even if I can complete it today. But anyways, when I have it done, I'll walk through it quickly and yeah, let's see. I added the game to the mockup I just made and tried it, and it crashed immediately when the ball hit the paddle. And I noticed it's crashing because there's some undefined variable getting used. And then I went to CodePen and noticed that actually there's some audio files or strings added here. So yeah, one option would be to copy these files, but in modern browsers there's actually audio context, which is basically a built-in audio functionality in the browser. So I'll try to use that. I haven't actually used it before, but let's see. Okay, so I wrote this simple function which beeps, hopefully, and yeah, you can pass a duration and frequency to it. So you could make a high pitched or a little bit lower. Could be good for different sounds. But yeah, let's try it out. Now I actually need my headset for this. Okay, let's try 1 second. And this is obviously a milliseconds as usual in JavaScript. Yeah, that is perfect. Let's try frequency a little bit lower. Wow, well, that was low. Okay, so now we have a simple function which can be used instead of those audio files. Back to coding. I'll get back to you once I'm finished, maybe, or if I find something else. Okay, it actually didn't take that long. I mean, it has been only like an hour or something. What I did was basically, let me see.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so what I did was to change one of the players who presses the start button there is sending a game start to another player, and also when the players are pressing keys, I added peer-to-peer message sending there. So yeah. And actually I also made it so that the player who presses the start button is kind of a master. So that player will basically dictate which one is the left player and right player, and also send some important parameters over the connection, like when the turn ends and which direction the ball should go and so on. Anyways, I'll show you how it works. Here's the game on 2 browsers. So I'll just copy the ID from one to another and connect, and then hit start here on the right side, which makes this player the master. And yeah. So as you can see, now the left player is moving, and when I go to this window, the right player is moving. This is actually quite hard to control both. And so on. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't quite finish it or polish it to complete game. There was some logic in the game that the speed goes up and the background changes and so on. But yeah, anyways, the basics are working. I think I've completed my mission here. I wanted to test the PeerJS. And by the way, if you don't know what peer-to-peer basically means, it means that once the connection is established between the peers, there will be no server in the middle, which is usually or has been kind of a required thing. And for games, it's probably still required because you need to have some kind of a validator in between just to make sure that nothing too fancy is happening between the players, because I could basically just go to console and send some custom messages, so it's basically hacked. But anyways, for this simple test, it works. And if you don't have any requirements for like production, if you just want to make a game for fun for yourself and your friends, then this is a viable option. But anyways, this was today's video, so hit the like button if you liked the video, and remember to subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.